Sooner or later, those who win are those who think they can. Richard Bach. My friends, you will get that mindset as you practice trade day after day after day, following these charts 10 to 15 minutes. That is all we ask. Hope you're having a great holiday season. Treat yourself to our book, Charting Your Way to Wealth, and a bound spiral version, a 3-month version of our weekly market, daily market, and trade worksheets. Those are available. See the link in your show notes. Special training for our subscribers today. You subscribe for free at chartingwealth.com. Dollar cost averaging, problems, and our solution. And don't forget, the PDFs of those worksheets are in your show notes every single day. We see stocks are down, bonds and gold up. I like it when they're inverse like that. When they're not inverse like that on a daily basis, whether stocks are down or up, we want to see bonds and gold doing the opposite. Not been that way a lot lately, but it is today, and that's good. Let's jump into the charts. How did we end the week? The S&P down a little bit for the day, 0.12%. But as we hone into the charts, we can see that we did reach a higher high. The candle is higher. Also, the candle body itself, the wick on top, both of them are higher than the prior week. Because we don't have as fat a candle, we can see that the price percent oscillator is flattening a little bit. Derivative oscillator still moving up. So we had an up week. Remember that last weekly vertical crossover back on Friday the 13th of November. Go to the 2-day chart. Now this latest 2-day candle, which we told you to keep watching out for, it has of course violated the 2-day trend line, still above the weekly, but it is a red down candle. Those of you who went ahead and took profits over the last few days, that is fine. But if you are still in, be very, very careful as to where this is going. Maybe as the week starts off, things will bump up some as we move closer and closer to the Christmas effect and, of course, the holiday season. Hey, those of you who haven't bought your stock traders almanacs, stock market almanac, the one put out by the Hershes, I love that. Get yourself the 2021 version for this next year. It is just an incredible little arrow to have in your quiver. You can order those, of course, Amazon, anywhere else. We don't produce that. It is produced by the Hershes, Yale and his son Steve. So, what do we see going on? We see the derivative oscillator losing momentum. Price percent oscillator still positive, but going down. Go to the half-day chart. What do we see there? Well, again, still price movement still below the half-day trend line. Down in the morning and a bit of a recovery in the afternoon. We can see a slowdown in that down movement. Price percent oscillator still heading down. Derivative oscillator gaining downward momentum. So we're still cautiously moving up. If you're still in that practice trade, then pay close attention to what's happening on that 2-day chart and the weakening of the weekly over the next week. What happened with the Qs? Well, we can see if we look over to the left-hand side of the screen, look at the first horizontal gray line below that PPO. It is 5.50. It's not good when you have to look that closely to see if you had a weekly vertical crossover. Well, we did not. So even though we had up movement, just not enough. The Nasdaq 100 just won't get enough energy to cross over for us. So we don't have a crossover. Again, that kind of slow grinding movement just doesn't do it for us. We go to the 2-day chart. It is heading down again like the S&P 500, even more so. We have a red down candle, the latest 2-day candle. Prices, of course, below that prior trend line on the 2-day chart. Derivative oscillator losing momentum, still positive. Price percent oscillator heading down, still positive. We see down movement in the morning on the half-day chart, and pulling back up a little bit in the afternoon. Overall, though, still down for the day. Our largest downer for the day, 0.22%, so not a whole lot going on. But that is where we are, just not enough energy for a crossover on the Qs. Might happen over the course of this next week, but you know what might happen too? Is we might have, again, a retreat and further down movement. What would that mean? Mark your show notes. What if you have a 2-day recross going down? You could. And it could give you an opportunity to short the Qs in one of two ways, either through PSQ, which is, of course, I'll show it to you, PSQ. It is the ProShares short. In fact, as the Qs is going down, PSQ goes up. It is set by the people who manage it to try to move, and it does very well, in the same percentage up that the Qs moves down. It is a single short as opposed to a double short or a triple short. You start getting to those ultra short funds again. The fees are more, they're repriced daily. I want you to practice trade those and see if you like, well, the single shorts. I want you to practice trade those. I'm going to put at the end of today's training, inverse funds, how to make money in your practice trades when markets crash so you understand those a little better. Check that out at the end of today's video. Now let's leave stocks, go to bonds. Bonds up for the day, 0.35%. Now let's go to the weekly chart first. Still in a confirmed down move. That means the price percent oscillator is negative. It's flat. Derivative oscillator negative, losing downward momentum. Green spinning top for the week. So again, you know, a slowdown in that prior week's strong down movement. Go to the 2-day. What do we see there? Well, we had it crossover going down and then popped right back over going up. So we went ahead and put our 2-day recross in. What does that mean for us? Well, it doesn't mean we have a trade here. It simply means that now we have the 2-day moving in one direction and the weekly in another. It puts us in that quandary where we've got to wait for one of the larger, the intermediate 2-day or the weekly to move in the same direction. If the weekly rotates over going up like the 2-day, that is a weekly vertical crossover. If the 2-day rotates over going down, that is a recross. Now we just had a recross. It didn't do so well, did it? So again, pay attention. Let's see what's going on. That is what backtracking is all about, to see how accurate those are. You want about an 80 to 90% accuracy before you start counting on recrosses. You do that by backtracking. And in fact, I'm going to put that backtracking training at the end of today's video today. So just writing that down as a note. You're going to get backtracking and inverse funds at the end of today's video. And of course, we've got a great training for our subscribers today. That training is about dollar cost averaging problems and our solution. That's where we are on 20-year bonds. Lastly, we're going to go to gold. I just love gold. My favorite, people ask me, what are my two favorite ETFs? The Qs, the Nasdaq 100, and gold. And I keep wanting gold to go back up. Of course, we had gold peak in August. It's been going down pretty much since then. Nice to finally see an up week, though, in gold. We had one, what, a month and a half ago, on the week ending the 6th of November, and then it rolled over after that. Now again, still negative, been negative for quite a while on our price percent oscillator, but we do have a green week, but that price percent oscillator still going down. Derivative oscillator losing just a little bit of momentum. We go to the 2-day chart. Now this is not much of a 2-day crossover. Not much at all. If you look on the left-hand side of the screen, what do you see next to PPO below that first gray horizontal line? 1.06 negative, and you see 1.05 negative on the exponential moving average. So in fact, you know what? That is not a 2-day recross. I'm reading that backwards when I was doing my prep for the show. Look at that. The 1.06 is actually lower than the 1.05. And again, if I'm wrong about that, one of you math, no, I'm right. So that actually is not a, sometimes when it gets so close, you just can't tell without look. But you know what? That is not a 2-day recross. We're going to move that back to where it was. I'm so glad I caught that while I was doing the show, so you guys didn't have to correct me afterwards. What you see me doing on the screen, this is how easy it is with TC2000, the paid version of freestockcharts.com. If you subscribe to our version, you get, guess what? you get $25 off if you use our little code, which is there in your show notes. So I'm just trying to connect something here. Well, we did not have a crossover going up. So we're still in a confirmed down move. Okay. Makes me feel better. I didn't want to see that happen. I want to see things, again, continue in one solid direction. I would love for gold to rotate over going up, but I want it to be a nice, strong, clean rotation over. So that is where we are as far as the 2-day goes. Didn't quite make it. We had 6 days of up movement, and then things just sort of died off. So we want to see a strong crossover, either down, well, more movement down, or a strong crossover going up. Maybe that will happen over the next week. Remember, it can't happen on Monday. Why? Because you got to have 2 days for a 2-day candle to draw. So if we do have a 2-day crossover going up that might lead us to finally a turnaround in this downtrend, I want it to be a nice strong crossover that makes us feel confident to jump into up moves. We do see the derivative oscillator's gone positive, but that's not the price percent oscillator. Let's look at the half-day chart, just laminated still. Again, a little bit up movement in the morning, a little bit in the afternoon, 0.19%. So nothing strong. We'll see if that gets better over the course of this next week. That's where we are, folks, as we end the week. Again, hope that you're getting ready for a wonderful holiday season. We'll continue to be with you as these markets will move into the holiday season, and we will be here bringing you the information each and every day, 10 to 15 minutes. That's all we ask, my friends. God bless from the whole team at Charting Wealth, World Headquarters.